Hey everybody, it's Andy Cloudy Mulder, your self-proclaimed metal mogul, back with my first video of 2023. So it seems only appropriate that I start off the new year with the Metal Tag 2023. These questions, of course, are from the immense, huge mind of the Rock Scout. He's been doing this for the last few years, and it's one of my favourite sort of threads of the year. Questions are really good this year. Had to think a little bit about a few of them. So check out Scott's channel, of course. Check out the questions. Watch his video. He's not actually answered his own questions yet. He's just did a video detailing the questions. I will get around to putting them below, but it may not be there immediately I post this video. But go and watch his anyway, because he'll explain the questions better than me. There's a little bit of a theme about some of the questions, so whereas I made up the questions, he'll let you know a little bit more about the context about them. So do check out that video. After watching this one, of course, don't go anywhere just yet. I'm going to dive straight in. So the first question is a false start album, an album you struggled with at first but grew to like. This is the first one that sprung to mind for me. Ozzy Osbourne, No Rest for the Wicked. This is an OG, and it's a it was the latest version when I bought it. This is my original copy. I got this around God, what you do? It's one of these albums that, because it's got this crocodile skin, I'm guessing, or animal print back, you can't actually see the date on it, and because I haven't been paying that much attention, I think it was 88. Anyway, I bought it when it came out, and I bought it kind of under false pretenses. And what I mean by that is I wasn't an Ozzy fan. In the 80s, I was never an Ozzy fan. To me, Ozzy Osbourne was that guy in Black Sabbath. Black Sabbath, that were that band that was around in the 70s when I was just a little lad. I was all about the new stuff in the 80s, so this was kind of dad rock to me at the time. But I thought, it's Ozzy Osbourne. I should get into Ozzy Osbourne, and this was the 80s album, so I bought it. And it just didn't click with me in the 80s at all, and barely got played. Now, when I started back on the vinyl route in around about 2014 or so, pulled my collection out of storage, put it on, and instantly, whoa, I loved it. Went out and bought a load more of the earlier Ozzy albums, and nothing stood up for this. I'm still not a massive Ozzy fan, to be honest with you, but No Rest for the Wicked, with songs like Miracle Man, Devil's Daughter, Bloodbath in Paradise, Fire in the Sky, and Demon Alcohol. It's just a fantastic album. So yeah, is now my favourite Ozzy album, without a shadow of a doubt. Second question. An album with a war theme or lyrics. So I've dug into the modern British metal box that I have. You know, it's a big favourite of mine, seeking out modern British traditional heavy metal bands. And what I've picked out for you is this band called Forlorn Hope, and their debut album, Over the Hills. Forlorn Hope are a band that pretty much exclusively sing about songs of war. And this whole album is based on the Peninsular War. If you do not know the Peninsular War, it was around 1807, between 1807 and 1813 by the looks of it, and it was Napoleon Bonaparte and all that. There's a whole story in here. It's a good read, actually. But what you've got in this album is 12 songs, all telling stories of different battles or different things that happened around this era. It's got the dates. It's got the Battle of Talavera, 27th to 20th of July, 1809. The Eagle Hunters, the capture of the Eagle at the Battle of Barossa. Die Hard, the Battle of Albuera. It is detailed, and what is fantastic about the album is the music is great. I mean, first and foremost, it's the music that drags me in. But they have managed to put together 12 songs on an album that is basically a concept album. Every song is, I'm guessing, factually correct, or it's been well researched, and every song tells a story. And to get that story into lyrics that work in a song for one song, I think it's amazing. But to do it for 12 on an album, it's well worth checking out. This is Forlorn Hope Over the Hills. Check them out on Bandcamp. Great band, really good. I think they're from the northwest of England. Okay, question 3. Most influential metal museum to you of the last 10 years? Well, I kind of struggle with this one a bit because I don't really look at musicians these days and either idolize them or look at them as individuals and think, oh, you're so influential, I love you. I just listen to the music. If I like the music, I like the music. But I had to pick somebody, and there were a few candidates I could have gone for. James McBain was an obvious one because I love Hell Ripper, but Hell Ripper are coming up later on. No spoilers. But I have gone for a chap in this band, Seven Sisters. It's Kyle McNeil. Now, he is one of the founding members of this band. This is a band I have talked about quite a lot. They've been my favourite album of the year, I think it was 2021, 2022, when they did the Cauldron of the Cross. This is the latest album, Shadows of a Fallen Star Part 1. He is, I think he writes most of the lyrics, if not the songs. Apologies to the other members of the band if that's not true. But what I like about Seven Sisters is they are not the standard cookie cutter new wave of traditional heavy metal band. They've got something just a little bit different about them. And that's probably why I know there's a few people. I've tried to turn on a few people to this band, and it's not really clicked. I think it's to do with potentially the vocals, potentially it's the sound. They're not just an Iron Maiden clone. They're not just a Judas Priest clone. They do offer something a little bit different. And Carl McNeil is also he's doing a lot of production now. I think he engineered or mastered. There's another band, Oath. That is a local Scottish band, another one-man band, and he mastered that one. He's got another band called Phantom Spell, which is like a one-man band, which I'm looking to get some stuff this year. So so Seven Sisters, one of my favourite bands. I thought I'd give them a little bit of a shout out to Kyle McNeil. There we go. So that's my influential member, should we say, for the last 10 years. Number 4. A band that on my to see list. Now, this band is no doubt past their best now, but I've never seen them live. I would love to have seen them live in their heyday. It's Megadeth. Obviously, this is the new album, The Sick, the Dying, and the Dead. I've only just recently picked it up, and I know only Dave is left, but I've not seen Megadeth. I've seen Anthrax in their prime. And recently, I've seen Metallica in their prime. I saw Slayer on the final tour, but I've never seen Megadeth. And I've seen most of the big 80s heavy metal bands as well, but Megadeth is the band that has eluded me. My own fault. There's been opportunities, I've just never taken them up. But that's one of my potential regrets. I would love to see them now, and if they came around, I probably would. But I know it's not the same with just Mega Dave being the only member. But yes, the band that I is on my to see list. There are probably others, but that was one that springs to mind. Question 5 is an album that energizes you. Again, I could have picked so many. I'm going to pick another one. So this is an honorary mention, shall we say, and one that has been with me for a long time. I've had this album since about 1989. That's Suicidal Tendencies' debut album, the one that's very sort of hardcore punky. As in my late teens, whenever I was in a bad mood or somebody pissed me off, I would put this on and this would turn it around. I would just, at the end of it, I would just think like, I don't care. I don't care. Back on good terms. But the album that I did pick, and this is a fairly new album for me. I hadn't realised how good it was, but I picked up the reissue last year, the 30th anniversary, sorry, reissue, and that's Riot Thundersteel. Now this is a proper feel good album. It doesn't matter what mood I'm in. Put this on, and I'm fist banging away. Thundersteel, Fight or Fall, Sign of the Crimson Storm. I mean, literally every track. Johnny's Back is great as well. Run for Your Life. Start to finish, absolutely fantastic feel-good album. Riot, Thundersteel. Question 6. Big Freeze, show a snow or ice album. Now this question was related to the fact that we've had a bit of a cold snap in the US. Have had a bit of a was it thunder bomb or something? So ice and snow. Terrible cover. Plenty of Ice and Snow. Halloween have pretty much, apart from their last album, had pretty terrible album covers. Most recently, feeling that they have to persist with the horrendous Pumpkin Man. But there you go. This is my God-given right from 2015. Okay album. Not their best, but Ice and Snow all over it. Number 7. A song title with royal ties. A song title with royal ties. Oh my God, I've gone for... Okay, I can do this. I just realised I grabbed an album. Queen of Death, Atomcraft. This was related to the fact that our Queen in the UK died last year. So Queen of Death. Tad insensitive, perhaps. But there is a song on here called Queen of Death as well. So that's my... song title with royal ties. Question 8. A predominantly green album cover. In an attempt in these vinyl tags to try and kind of cover quite a wide range of different metal genres in my collection, I've gone for Elder, basically. This is predominantly green, as the question says. Okay, there's a little bit of brown there, a little bit of white. This is Elder, Reflections of a Floating World. Very much brown on the back cover. They also have fantastic artwork. Now, Elder are a stoner, doom, technically progressive band. I've just put this on now, and I've just remembered that Elder, you've really got to be in the mood to listen to Elder. I've really got to be in the mood to listen to Elder. It's a tough listen, especially the progressive parts to it, but I do enjoy it. If that wasn't green enough, then even though that looks aquamarine or aqua or even goddammit blue, it is actually quite a deep green. Cover up that light. No, that's not helpful at all, but you're going to have to take my word for that one. So that's my green album, question 8. Question 9, an album released in 2021 that you bought but have not listened to in 2022. Holosade, Anastasis, and I barely remember what it sounds like. Now, it wasn't a terrible album. Now, Holosade, or Holosade, if you're a if you're a bit of a twat like me, they were a UK thrash band that released one album, Hell House, in the late 80s, and that was it. Philip Holosade was the main guy behind the band. They reformed in 2021 and released an album. It's okay. It's got a very modern production on the thrash side, so it sounds like a lot of other modern thrash bands at the moment. I'm going to leave it out. I'm going to play it again because it's not a bad album. It's just not one that I have rushed to pick up and put back on again. In fact, I've played the debut album 3 or 4 times in the last year, I think, again. But I haven't thought to go back to this one. So I'll give it another spin and we'll see how that goes. Number 10, best find of 2022, old or new. Now, I struggled on this one because although I've picked up a fair amount of albums, albeit probably my lowest number, most of them on CD this year, to be honest with you, I have done very little digging. I have had some amazing albums through VCLT, but I don't class those as finds because, okay, people have found them for me and they've sent them on to me, and I'm incredibly grateful. And you know who you are, especially you know who you are for the people who sent me just some of the most amazing things I would never have expected to have got in my collection. But I wanted to pick out an album that I found that would just I'd never expected to in the wild, and I couldn't find one. So I ended up with a kind of 12-inch single, which I was actually amazed to find in the wild. This is Holocaust and Heavy Metal Mania. New wave of British heavy metal. Scottish band. It's a 12-inch single. It's got Heavy Metal Mania side 1, Love's Power, and Only As Young As You Feel on side 2. I found this in a record shop in Scotland, and but it's been very, very slim pickings this year. In fact, I went to a record shop today, my usual store, Vinyl Villains, and I completely looked out. There was nothing in there. There was some good metal in there, but it was stuff I already had and wasn't going to double up on. But me, out in the wild, Holocaust, Heavy Metal Mania, that was something I never expected to find, but I did. Question 11. A new band album discovery of 2022. Again, I kind of struggled on this one. There's a few contenders, but I decided to go with Black Talon because I'd never heard of them before. I went to the Red Crust Festival in Edinburgh this year, which is mainly sort of extreme metal, doom, stoner, psychedelic stuff. Had an absolutely fantastic time, but Black Talon played, and they were more of a straight up thrash band. Let's show you that t-shirt. This is the t-shirt for Existential, which is their latest album, which is 2019. So I went on and picked up Existential. These are all available on Bandcamp. I had a good chat with Johnny Steele, the vocalist, after the gig. Very, very nice chap. And probably my favourite, and the one I know the best actually, that I played the most, is Endless Realities, which is from 2015 or 2016, I think. I've forgotten how to open jewel cases. There we go. No date, but great album CD art there. Look at that. But these are they're kind of aggressive thrash band. Nothing like I said. The Holocide was a little bit generic sounding. Nothing generic sounding about these guys. A little bit refreshing. They're just banging it out. Aggressive vocals. Fantastic stuff. Okay, what next? An album sold to you by a song. Again, I struggle. I don't really buy, or I don't really seek out singles. In fact, if it's a band I know and a band I like, I tend not to listen to the advanced singles because singles tend to come out on YouTube now. I wanted to pick something recent rather than something from back in the day because honestly I can't remember what I picked up from singles. I could talk about The Trooper being my first single and how all of this as a result of that, but I've done that before. So I am going to go for one that was kind of a recommendation. This was a recommendation from Mark G with a C. He talked about it on his channel. I went and I checked a couple of songs on YouTube and I was instantly sold and had to go out and find it. And that's Amorphia, and this is Merciless Strike, and this is actually an Indian thrash metal band. But honestly, one of my favourite albums I picked up last year. It's not from last year, it's from 2020, but absolutely fantastic, high energy, great thrash metal. Amorphia, Merciless Strike. So that's probably my best find. Sorry, my new band discovery of 2022, because I'd never heard of them before. Question 13. This is going to be a long one. Most anticipated album of 2023. Really looking forward to the Hell Ripper, but probably my most anticipated album will be Anthrax, and I don't even know if they're actually going to release it in 2023. There's only sort of hearsay and rumours. Not seen any title or artwork or any advertising so far. So, Anthrax, release your album, please. Come on, it's been too long. Number 14, the 23rd album on your shelf. My shelves are all over the place. I have CDs, boxes below the desk, boxes here, boxes there. So I went through Discogs, which has CDs, tapes, and vinyl. And if I've got duplicates, just went down 23. And the 23rd one, alphabetically, is Acerus, the Tertiary Right. This was a VCLT I got from Jim Davis some time ago. I remember this being an absolutely banging album, but I can't remember this album now, so this will stay out and get a spin. That's album 23 in my collection, according to Discogs. Question 15. I'm going to come back to that one. I'm going to do this slightly out of order, but you'll see why very soon. So I'm going to skip to question 16, and that's a random pull from the collection. As I say, my collection's kind of all over the place. It's difficult to do a random pull, because if I go forward, then I'm instantly discounting all these albums, and I'm making a conscious decision. So I am going to throw up my trusty online catalogue app that I have got, and it's got a cover flow. And this is often how I sort of go through all my albums when I'm looking at threads that have particular things on albums. They're all in here. This is just the heavy metal LP section, so it's the things in front of me and to the side. And I'm going to click on the dice icon to get a random one, and I'm going to go and find it and pull it and see if I remember about it. So, Witch Hazel. Okay. It would be. It's the hidden behind here. Okay, so it's a picture disc. Witch Hazel. Okay, so this is Witch Hazel's first album, Prelude. Picture disc. I didn't want to buy the picture disc, but the black vinyl pressings had sold out. These were selling out really quickly, so I grabbed it, and within about a month they just reissued that bastard on proper vinyl as well. I hate picture discs, especially if they don't come with any proper packaging, any inlays or anything. It's just a disc in a plastic sleeve, and that annoys me. But this is a really, really good album. I do love Witch Hazel. It's very upbeat. It's kind of spiritual. Well, it's spiritual lyrics, but it's very upbeat and uplifting. It's a great album. Witch Hazel Prelude, and it's also a terrible picture disc. Look at that. It's just anyway, picture discs not my thing. Right. That was a random pull. Question 17: a band or artist you discovered through social media. Now, I don't really pay too much attention to social media. I'm sure there's been things that have been recommended by friends on things like Facebook. I don't do Twitter. Instagram, I just kind of post my stuff and like other people's posts without necessarily following up. Sorry. So I am going with a band I discovered on Bandcamp. Now, Bandcamp has a social media aspect to it. You can follow people, you can look at their collections or what have you. And back in 2018, I discovered this band called Hell Ripper. Looking through for UK bands, UK thrash bands, UK traditional heavy metal bands. I came across Hell Ripper that had just recently released Coagulating Darkness. I've never heard of them before, and I heard them. Mentioned about James McBain earlier. Absolutely very, very talented young man. They've got a new album coming out in 2023. Nice long name that I don't remember off the top of my head. There is a nice short hair, looking very, very sensible. And I picked up this CD, number 370 of 666. I loved it so much. I started sharing it with a few friends on the VC as well, and it's great to see so many people now backing Hell Ripper and really looking forward to the new album coming out. So one of my favourite discoveries, certainly on Bandcamp and certainly in my time in the VC. So I've since picked this up on vinyl and CD through reissues and everything else he's done on vinyl and CD as well. And tape. That's the one I was missing. Question 18. Where do you see your collection progressing in the next 5 years? It's already started. I've already started down that route. I'm buying a lot less vinyl these days. I bulk at the cost, and it's not necessarily that I can't afford things. I just look at things and think it's just not worth it. I mentioned showed the Megadeth album. I wasn't going to get that, but it bombs in price, and things often do. When I see the price of new vinyl coming out, I am happy to wait. I wait 3 or 4 months, and someone like Amazon will always ditch the price. It'll always go down at least 25-30% from the initial price that went out. The record companies are just trying to get as much money as they can out of people as early as possible, and then sounds like they just want to sell the stock after that to keep going. So I'm patient. I can wait. 2022 was the year that I really started to properly curate my collection. I started getting rid of stuff that I'm really not going to listen to before. I have seriously run out of space. I mentioned recently that I've ditched all the jewel cases in my collection pretty much to save space and put things in these wallets, which is a great space saver. Works for me, not going to work for everybody. Vinyl, obviously you can't do that, they're already pretty thin, but I look at my shelves at times and think, well, there are things here that I'm really not going to listen to. So I've started selling off some of the stuff that I picked up pretty cheap years ago, worth a little bit more now. But I'm not going to stop buying stuff, but I just want to make sure that I'm refreshing the collection, making room for the new stuff that's going in that hopefully I'm going to listen to. But if I don't, I'm not as anal as I used to be with regard to keeping stuff. So I expect my collection to stay about the same size, but to grow in quality. How about that then? Okay, question 19. A new release you didn't buy this year based on price alone, this year being 2022. The Number of the Beast reissue with the Beast over Hammersmith live disc. That was 65 quid. Yes, it's a 3LP heavyweight vinyl, but 65 quid. Are you serious? That is just, I was never going to pay that. Again, just a case of being patient, I guess, but 65 quid for a record and a reissue, and no, I can't do that. I couldn't do that to myself. Yeah, so Number of the Beast, not at that price. I'm going to go back to question 15, which was the last album that has gone into my collection. It's The Number of the Beast 2022 with the Beast over Hammersmith. But I didn't buy it this year, 2022, because of the price. But I have bought it in 2023 because I came into a little bit of money. I do a weekly accumulator on the English Football League, and my luck came in this week, and I won myself a nice little a little bit of money to spend on some records, and this had come down to £50 on Amazon. Still enough to make my eyes water. Still, I wasn't going to buy it at that price with my own money, but seeing as the bookmakers were quite happy to pay me to buy this, I decided to pick it up. I've not even opened it yet. That will come the but I wanted it. Don't get me wrong, I really wanted it. But again, I knew the price would come down. So if you're somebody who likes out of this but is balking at the price, I pretty much guarantee that this will be probably in a month or two's time. It'll be lower than it is now. But the fact that it's already gone down, God, what 20%? I can't do maths in my head. This time of night, but the fact that it's already come down that much, £15 in a couple of months, it'll come down again. But the only reason I got it was I came into a little bit of winnings on the old accumulator. So that arrived the other day. So that's the last album to go into my collection. And number 20, and I know I've been rambling on for a long time, 30 minutes, never expected it to be this long. A song that doesn't belong, a song that lets an album down. I really wanted to come up with a nice witty answer for this one. I was going to say Axe Attack because it's got Def Leppard on. This is the only Def Leppard track in my whole collection, certainly on vinyl. But unfortunately, this Axe Attack K-Tel album also has a UFO song I don't like, Gillan's song I'm not that fussed about, Ted Nugent, Whitesnake I don't particularly like, Rush, why have I got this album? I don't know. Even Rainbow Since You've Been Gone. It's a crap collection, and the fact that there's a Def Leppard song on it doesn't particularly spoil it that much either. You know, you guys can be Def Leppard. So the serious answer is I'm going back to Maiden, The Book of Souls, an absolutely fantastic album. Again, top to bottom, If Eternity Should Fail, Speed of Light, The Great Unknown, The Red and the Black, brilliant. Book of Souls, Death or Glory, fantastic. Tears of a Cloud, Man of Sorrows, Empire of the Clouds. I think a song that Bruce Dickinson wrote for himself that they decided to stick on the end. It's a good song in its own right. Empire of the Cloud even. It's a good song in its own right. It was released as a 12-inch single, Record Store Day thing. I don't actually have it. I could listen to that song in its own right and I could appreciate it for what it is. But for an album this long, to go and stick, what, a 15-minute song or something on the end, however long it is just it's just too much. It's just you listen to the good modern Iron Maiden sounding songs on here and get to that at the end and it's like, really? I'm going to switch it off, and that's what I do. Empire of the Clouds, that album, it doesn't enhance that album at all, in my opinion. So there we have it. That's my far too long Metal Tag 2023. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you more in 2023. See you soon. Cheers.